Alright, so my cold air intake came in. It's an AEM one. However, I bought it off eBay used. I did try using the setup from AutoZone, which was little plastic chrome colored pieces with a Spectra air filter. Don't short yourself like that. Just go ahead and spend the money and buy a pre-fitted pipe, you know, for your celica or whatever. Don't waste the money on those stupid things. It's not going to do you any good. Anyway, this will be my first time to set one of these up, so I'm going to follow the directions as given in a link. Alright, go ahead and get your driver's side tire off. That's part of the directions. Make sure your emergency brake is pulled. Disconnect your negative battery terminal. Okay, and obviously here's your stock air filter. Big and bulky and kind of constricts your engine, so we're going to go ahead and remove it. Okay, now the first step is to remove your mass airflow sensor, and then it says to set it aside. Go ahead and pull your evap out of its little brace right here. You can also remove this, which is your hose for your ECU. It's just going to pull out. Man, I stuck it in there good last time. There it goes. Pull out. And then don't need this. Set it aside. Undo the little wire hoses on the back. This one. That one you're going to need to undo. There's also a smaller one just right behind it. Or below it. Or below it. Loosen up these, your clamps on your hose. Okay, when you go to remove your stock air intake, it's going to be hell. It really is. This is a really cramped space, and there's not a lot of pull and give everywhere you have. Mine's going to be much easier because I've snapped a lot of clips on this damn thing. I've taken it out 2 or 3 times trying to replace with a cold air intake, and that was before I got the AEM one, so I'm going to go ahead and just do it right this time. Make sure I have everything. Okay, the way I removed my top was I just picked it up like this and then pried out and pushed this hose back to give it the extra slack it needs. These little clips right here make it sit in there and then down. So you're going to have to pry it back like that to come towards you. Okay, this is where your 10mm wrench or socket comes into play. And I need to take this out. Hold on to this because I'm pretty sure we're going to need it again. Make sure you keep all your bolts and nuts and everything in a particular location. Some people like to use those little magnetic dishes. I don't have one, so oh well. Okay, now one thing you are going to need to undo is that little blue clip. It's not going to be used again, but you do need it undone. Okay, let's see. I'd say go ahead and undo all the other hoses you can, like this one here. There's going to be a few on the bottom. There we go. Here's your screwdriver. You take this little setup out. If you can leave hoses plugged into stuff, I would recommend doing it so, because there's a lot of little vacuum hoses. So just go ahead and leave them be. Oh yeah, another thing to keep in mind, this setup is probably going to be different than the GTS version. I only have the GT. So you're going to install your sleeve, your 15-degree sleeve. I'm guessing facing outward with the crease coming towards the front of the car. Okay, in order to get your inlet pipe in here, you're going to have to try and squeeze it behind that little inner fender wall. It's going to be plastic, and in between here, and it's going to sit inside of this right here. behind one of your fogs, or really close to one of your fog lights. So you're going to need to loosen this up. Okay, still having trouble. You are going to have to do some trimming down here. I'm assuming on this piece, this inside piece, and this one as well. Okay, by removing this plastic shroud right here and this one over here, we're just pulling it back, you can actually manage to get your pipe inside behind the bumper where it needs to go. Unfortunately, I skipped a step and now I'm going to have to take the whole pipe back out. You need to put your mass airflow sensor on, because trying to put it in from this angle would be near impossible. So don't forget that step. Okay, finally got the stupid mass airflow sensor in. If you're going to use the ones that came with the AEM intake, you're going to need a 30-second Allen wrench to get those in there. Again, just do it while it's out. It's kind of a headache to do it like that. Okay, this is just for ease of access. Loosen the bracket which your fuse box is on, but don't undo anything that has to do with the fuses. This isn't really that electronical at all. And if there's a rubber boot right there, you're going to need to just loosen up the bolt so you can slide this bracket onto it. Alright, now for those of you that were listening when you disconnected this little piece, you can hear it release air. Okay, you're going to want to disconnect this, and like I said, I bought mine used, so I had to actually go to the parts store and buy a pack of these. This is a 1/8 vacuum seal. You're going to want to put it over right under your throttle body, just right there. Okay? You're going to cap that off. Okay? Alright, great. Okay, I also had to buy little clamps, because like I said, again, I bought mine used. Now this one, you're going to have to bolt up to right here. You're going to use your original bolt, just like you did for the evap setup, okay? Using your original bolt that goes in there. And that one's going to go down there, and this hose is going to go on here. Since I have 4 clips, you guys should have 2 if you bought your pack new. You're going to want to put one on this end, and one on this end. Alright? Alright, I followed every step almost just like it's instructed to do. So far it's been a fairly easy setup. It's just, you know, working with the, you know, the angles and stuff. The last thing you need to apply on is your tip, and you're going to have to tighten that up too. So in order to do that, I'm probably going to have to take off that fender guard or just remove this front body kit. Okay, you're probably going to see some wires and junk in there. I'm just going to push mine aside and do my best to snap my air filter on. Okay, be sure to put your stuff back on. I gap mine a little bit too much, but you don't have to cut that far. And your filter should sit right behind in there. Alright, there's one last step, and it's putting on your ECU hose. I'm regretful to say that I really can't be of much help as far as that goes. It's going to be this. You're going to have an adapter piece for it. It's going to sit right in here, right back where that goes, and your hose is going to run here down to the bottom of your radiator. It's something like a 23-inch hose. I'm going to need the adapter piece for the top and bottom. Okay, I'm crossing my fingers, tighten everything down, hopefully everything works. And there you go, ladies and gentlemen. I actually managed to not fuck it up this time.